was like how it was for you that your parents were being divorced. How did you deal with it at that age?
Oh gosh, I was a mess. Because I was actually 10 when they separated. And how it lived for me was I was abandoned. Now, I wasn't smart enough, I didn't have the intellectual, capacity to know that that's what I said to myself, but it's what I said to myself. And so how I operated with people, and that's partially contributed to my social relationships. I was always expecting if things didn't go well, people would leave, and I had to be nice. I had to be nice and polite. If I wasn't nice, people wouldn't stay. And even with friends, I had it. Because of the way my parents, argued and fought before they separated. The world I grew up in was if you had a fight, that relationship was over. And so I remember, always being very careful and cautious and insecure in friendships in high school. And I wasn't, people in high school can be mean.
Yeah.
So, I was preyed upon because I'm operating like I got to be careful. And if I meet somebody and I'm friends with them, and then if there's any problem, it's not going to go well, they're going to leave me like my dad did. And when people sense that vulnerability, I think they can be unkind. I also had the unique circumstance of, it wasn't unique, but it occurred unique for me. When my parents were together, we were very high income. There's two, mom and dad were both working full time. We lived in a very nice neighborhood. It didn't cost a lot to have a very nice big house. When they separated, our income changed dramatically. My mother was the only person working consistently. My father went to grad school. And so the big shock was an income loss. And then, the emotional devastation of the divorce from my mom left her, she wound up being unemployed. And so we went from, two very kind of upper middle class income earning to one middle class earner to zero earnings. And it was, so how it lived for me is falling in love and being married left you vulnerable to, if it didn't work out, your life was going to spiral downward and crash. And I literally live my life like, you can't really get too attached. And if you get married and it doesn't work out, your whole life is going to be ruined, because that's what happened. That's how I viewed what happened to my mother.
Yeah.
And I lived in a world called be safe, be careful, be cautious. Either if you like somebody and you say the wrong thing, they're going to leave. If you have any friction in the relationship, they're going to leave. And if they leave, might be like knocked down and can't get up, like my mom. And that she picked back up and she did okay. And we all did fine. We all graduated from high school successfully. We all went off to college. My sister and I both have PhDs. We did grad school. I mean, all successful in life despite the trauma. But how it lived for me was, don't do that.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, and it comes up the question if at that time I would ask you, what do you think about marriage? You would say what?
Oh gosh, I totally wanted it and was doing nothing to make it happen.
All right, cool, right?
So my attitude about what's possible in marriage got influenced by watching my sister have a healthy marriage. And then I was like, oh, okay, so marriage is cool and it can work, and you can, that thing that happened with my parents was just unique to them. It's not marriage everywhere. And so that one of the things I did notice is how easy it was to have new patterns of what marriage modeling. I do think people who are married model something for people who aren't, and they don't know it. They're probably not paying attention to it, and it's a huge deal. Not that you have to do anything about it, just being aware. You model something for the people in your family, for your friends, people around you. They get to see, oh, that's what marriage is like. Like I got to see when my sister and her husband would have a fight, and then they go to several places in the house, and then an hour later they come back and start talking about it. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I've never seen this before. And I'm
Yeah.
20 observing this is how to have a healthy relationship. So that's one thing that also stood out for me. even if whether you're in a household where people are married or not, are you around people who are having healthy relationships with one another and showing you how healthy relationships look? Whether you're married or just even if you're just living together or whatever, do you have a model for what healthy relating looks like?
Yeah.
Most of us don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
with today's divorce rate, definitely most of us don't. Yeah. In Slovenia it's 50%. I know, and I studied in Esbjerg in Denmark, and in Esbjerg is 90%. So.
Yeah.